Welcome back, everyone. POW Ponder Weather here. Hope everyone out there is enjoying your weekend. We're going to be talking about this next storm system that has taken a devastating turn for the worse. Let's start off with the overall temperatures as of 10 o'clock this morning. You can see where the Arctic cold front is. It is plunging southbound, but out ahead of it, it's plenty warm conditions further south. It's widespread 40s up here in the Ohio Valley and into the mid-Atlantic. But yes, all eyes are on this cold front as plunging temperatures down in the below zero temperatures have already reached Nebraska, even getting into parts of Kansas here, and that is diving southbound with freezing temperatures reaching all the way down into Oklahoma, and that's only going to continue to get colder. Back behind it yesterday, we did have that clipper system that in some areas it did overperform. I know I had a report up there in Montana, had about 21 inches of snowfall, about elevation of 7,000 feet. But as this came across portions of South Dakota and Iowa, I had another report down there near Davenport, picked up about 4 inches of snowfall with this system. So it laid a pretty good swath of heavier snows in its wake, and that Arctic air has to go over that snowpack as well. So if you are new to the channel and like detailed weather breakdowns on North America, hit the subscribe button and you're in. You get all my daily content on this channel. It's also important to hit the like button as well. It definitely helps out more than you know. And coming up on Monday, I'm going to be doing a giveaway of one of these free Weatherflow weather stations. It's one I personally have owned myself literally for the past 3 years, and I love it. It's all solar. It's a 5-in-1 system. It takes about 10 minutes to install. So come back tomorrow. I'll be doing a giveaway for one of these. If you'd like to purchase one at a discount, I'll have the link below so you can take a look and see if you'd like to purchase one yourself. But I'm also going to be starting a second channel. I'm going to be adding content to this channel coming up actually tomorrow. This one's POW Ponder Ultra, and that is more or less defined for short-term range weather analysis, but also more educational content. I've had a lot of requests for this as well. So if you'd like to subscribe to that channel, it's at POW Ponder Ultra, and also have that link in the description below. So let's really delve into the details for today. In the warm sector, we're going to be having a lot of rain unfold across the Houston Metroplex, down there in portions of Louisiana and portions of central and southern Mississippi and Alabama, getting into the Florida Panhandle as this system will be coming across, leaving a good swath of 1 to 3 inches. Is definitely not out of the question. Even some isolated amounts of 4 inches of heavy rainfall down there, and this is an area that's been hit hard really over the last month. They've seen a lot of rainfall in that area. It's all culprit of this trough that's diving down there in California. We've got the Arctic blast going to be diving southbound. This is the piece of energy. You can see these southwest winds pull across these multiple short waves that are come across portions of Texas and Oklahoma, getting through Arkansas. These areas right here are more or less kind of in the bullseye of the Arctic blast in an overrunning setup, and that sets up a disastrous scenario of freezing rain, unfortunately. So, but today, it's all about the storms further south. That's why they've got that heavier, slight risk for excessive rainfall. But some of these could be on the strong to severe side as well, with all three modes of severe storms. It's a marginal risk, but definitely don't let your guard down there. But yeah, there's the trough that comes in off the west coast, bringing some colder conditions for much of California, even some rain showers along the coast. We've got snow flying in the high elevations of Nevada, back into Utah, into Wyoming, even into portions of Colorado. There's also a small pocket of freezing rain because that's where the cold front, that's the Arctic blast right here, moving across, getting into Missouri, leaving a blanket of freezing rain this morning. And we've got snow flying in portions of Toronto up there into Montreal as well. And we just kind of have that sporadic showers up there into the mid-Atlantic. But look at the temperatures as we go into 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So this is where it gets pretty hairy down there and further south in the southern plains. This is the Arctic blast moving southbound. Notice the temperatures. We're looking at 20 degrees in Oklahoma City, 29 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And that is a significant temperature because anything really 29 degrees and lower, it's going to be, as this freezing rain starts, it's just going to stick on contact. And that's just the beginning stages of what's to come. That looks like a multiple day event of just series of rain showers dropping as freezing rain in these areas through Oklahoma, through parts of Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, through portions of Illinois, that'll eventually get into portions of western Tennessee, there into Kentucky. But there's the breakdown for tomorrow. So here's the setup. You've got the trough out west. That's going to bring the instability, the much colder conditions well out west, and some light showers and snow into the higher elevations. But this is where it just gets nasty out in West Texas as the temperatures plummet. I showed you the temperatures, so all this is going to start off as like freezing drizzle in the morning time, but as we get deeper to the afternoon, we've got heavier rains moving in. It's all going to be sticking on contact. So it's just going to be a messy scenario. And it could drift as far south as into the Waco area, even into parts of central Texas. We've been talking about this Arctic air. It's always shallow. Arctic air always wins. It's dense, it's shallow, and it sinks. And that's the problem. It's plenty warm if you go 5,000 feet up. It's 45, 50 degrees up there. But we don't live up there. You live at the surface. Down here in the Dallas Metroplex, you're talking 750 feet. Yeah, that's prime conditions where it's going to be freezing at 29 degrees there, but it's 5,000 feet up. So anything that falls at 29 will be freezing on contact in those areas. And that goes just through Oklahoma, through Arkansas, into portions of western Tennessee, back there into Kentucky. Further south than that, it's just all about the rain that you're going to be continued into the warm sector. But going into Tuesday, we've got that spoke of energy out west. As long as that's out west, we're going to have multiple disturbances that come across. So I do feel you drop below freezing, say in the Dallas-Fort Worth area around midnight Sunday night, and you stay below freezing all day Monday. And there's the temperatures on Tuesday. Notice they don't go anywhere, folks. In fact, they sink a little bit further south, even into central Texas, as that deep Arctic shallow air mass continues to push a little bit further south. That's definitely significant. That's just going to put more areas in that freezing rain pocket. But look at the sharp gradient, right? You see where you are in the central Arkansas, western Tennessee, through Kentucky here, into portions of West Virginia, get it up into Pennsylvania. There's your freezing line. Literally anything in blue, that's your below freezing temperatures. Further south, it's just going to be an all rain prospect. So yeah, there's the disastrous setup on Tuesday. We've got a widespread swath of out west into West Texas, going into central Texas, into North Texas, through Oklahoma, through Arkansas. Again, same areas, western Tennessee, through Kentucky here, portions of Kentucky. That's all about the freezing rain that falls, and this is going to be adding to these ice accumulations and just create just a dangerous, nasty scenario across these regions. It's going to be treacherous travel. Expect a lot of delays and expect a lot of cancellations, obviously, because you can't drive on icy roads. So I mean, the best piece of advice that I can actually give you, if there's any way that you can stay home really Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in these areas, that would be the best advice that I can give you, because it's only going to get disaster if you have to go out there and driving. You have obviously put yourself at risk at some of these areas. It's difficult to drive on ice, to say the least. So look, as we go into Wednesday, there's the system, there's the trough, right? It really doesn't go anywhere. And that's the problem with this system. As we got the Arctic shallow air mass continue to pull southbound, we've got spokes of energy that are coming across. We have a lot of lift associated with these multiple disturbances, again, running across the same area. So that just basically means more freezing rain, because look at the temperatures. That's on Wednesday at 9 o'clock in the morning, guys. We're talking 3 days potentially of below freezing conditions in much of Oklahoma, much of West Texas and North Texas, Arkansas, these same areas. Notice it doesn't really move. It does not really move. So yes, these areas will hit again with another piece of energy that comes across, especially in the morning time frame, with just more freezing rain. You have this perfect overrunning type setup. It's a shallow Arctic air mass. It sinks, it's dense, and then everything just kind of freezes on contact. So Wednesday morning, you got more freezing rain in and around the West Texas area, North Texas, through Arkansas, through western Tennessee. This is the bullseye, nonetheless, of that significant storm that will be unfolding. And even in going into Wednesday afternoon time frame, I do feel like there's going to be pockets of pieces of areas in and around the Dallas-Fort Worth area and parts of Texas that do get above freezing, but really not by much. There's still areas out west are still going to be below the freezing mark. So basically anything that falls is still going to be sticking on contact going in even into Wednesday night, especially northwest of the Metroplex into West Texas, even maybe even pockets down there in Central Texas. So this has been the nightmare scenario, as this every update has gotten colder and colder, and that's typically pretty common with these Arctic air masses. I'm telling you, it's shallow and it's dense, and a lot of models can't pick up and they can't get the true grasp of this Arctic air mass, and it's been coming in with a vengeance. And it's already on its way. And by Thursday, I think we do rebound. So that's the saving grace. I think it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday type setup, especially with the freezing rain. Things start to normalize, but it's just a chilly rain. Now we have the multiple disturbances that come across, but luckily the freezing line lifts up to the north. So all this across Texas, through Oklahoma, through Arkansas, these areas here, it's just all rain. I don't really see much in the more or less freezing rain coming up on the day on Thursday. It's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday type setup. So, but overall, between now and Friday, there's a lot of precipitation to work with this system, with these troughs diving in out west. It has some instabilities. It's well south. Notice how well south it is. Los Angeles, San Diego gets some rain out of this deal through the desert southwest, but where the lift is, you got spokes of energy further south where they do have those excessive rainfall areas. They're going to be picking up some definitely some decent totals, at least 2 to 4 inches, if not higher than that. The big concern is really over Texas and parts of Oklahoma through Arkansas, right? It's a lot of precipitation. And you got areas that are going to be below freezing for an extended period of time. Some areas 3 complete days. You're talking potentially some significant ice secretions in these areas. And that just paints a disastrous type setup for these areas. So let's kind of nail down the details. This is the latest NAM model, and this has really been hitting it pretty good. I mean, this is typically the best model to use during shallow cold air masses, but it doesn't only go out until 84 hours. So between now and Wednesday night, there's the sleet. This is all sleet, guys, across Oklahoma, across North Texas, across West Texas, through Arkansas, through Missouri, through this zone, right? Through western parts of Tennessee, western Kentucky, through southern portions of Illinois. All this in orange is sleet compounding to those roads. And then there's the freezing rain swath. So we have an entire area of freezing rain across North Texas, West Texas, even into Central Texas. And that goes into portions of Oklahoma, through Arkansas, through Missouri, all the way in these areas through western Tennessee. I think most of eastern Tennessee misses out. You're in the warm sector. So it's really going to be confined through central and western parts of Tennessee, portions of Kentucky, probably the central parts of Kentucky, through portions of West Virginia, as a little bit lighter amounts go through portions of the Ohio Valley. But this is the NAM, right? That's just one model, and it's been one of the better models. But when you're looking at the blend, this is jaw-dropping, folks. I mean, this is the blend of all the models. I mean, the Canadian's been really bullish, painting a nightmare scenario on this system. The European has as well in portions, but this is the blend of all the models, and this is very concerning, showing all the ensembles coming together, showing this just paint of color across West Texas and North Texas and Oklahoma, through Arkansas. That is a nasty setup, guys. So that, I mean, you saw the precipitation that's gonna be dropping from this system, and then with the temperatures being below freezing for 3 solid days, it could get really nasty down in these areas, with that just ice just continuing to build on everything on its wake, with power lines. It's gonna be just, it's going to be very difficult to travel, and expect a lot of cancellations, a lot of flight delays, a lot of school closings in these areas. And like I said, the best advice is just to stay home, because there's nothing good it's going to be coming out of this deal Trust me. And it's going to be nasty for those 3 days. So let's take a look at the snow. I mean, there's not technically too much snow. You got this Clipper system. This is the second half of that Clipper system that's coming across portions of the central states. Now it's moved across portions of Michigan, through portions of Toronto, going in there to Montreal and Quebec areas, and just the higher elevations of the White Mountains back into Maine. But on maybe Wednesday and Thursday, on the back half of this system, where it may be all layers of the atmosphere, we could end with a little bit of dusting of snow. But it's primarily about 95%, a freezing rain, sleet type of setup down here in these areas. But we do see a rebound. So as we go into Saturday, I think the Arctic plunge, kind of loses its wake, especially across the central U.S. We start to get a little bit of a rebound. But where it really intensifies is up there in the Northeast. I mean, look at that cold polar lobe that dives down into portions of the Ohio Valley and into the Mid-Atlantic, into the Northeast. Those are below freezing temperatures up there coming up on Saturday morning. So let's zoom into some of these areas. Charlottesville, 10 degrees. Harrisburg, 10 degrees up there. DC, 8 degrees. This is definitely the coldest temperatures of the season. Back in there in Dover here, 8 degrees. Going up into Wilmington, 3 degrees. York, another 3 degrees. It just gets colder the further north you go. I mean, places into State College, 4 below zero. Pittsburgh at 0 degrees. I mean, Philadelphia, 1 degrees. You go up to Allentown, 3 below. But you go all the way up to Binghamton, that's 12 below zero. And 10 below in Scranton. I mean, this is some dangerously cold stuff. And you just go northbound, it's even colder, right? 2 below zero in New York City. 2 below, guys, coming up on Saturday morning. 7 below in Bridgeport. It just gets colder the further north you go. Into Providence, Rhode Island, 13 below zero. Boston, 13 below zero. So yeah, they get the true Arctic air mass in a big way. And you go up to Maine, it just gets even colder than that. You were almost 26 below up there near Caribou, 25 in Bangor, 24 below zero in Montreal. Yeah, so this is definitely by far the coldest temperatures of the season hitting that area coming up on Saturday morning, extending into Sunday. But beyond that, like I mentioned, going into Sunday, so for this time next week, it's a cold week. It's a cold week, no question. But we do get a rebound. So the Arctic blast loses its luster, and we got the southwest winds kick back. The Arctic air starts to retreat, and the warmer conditions start to move in. So hey guys, I appreciate you following. Do like this video. Definitely leave your comments below, and catch me in the next update where I protect you before and after the storm.